There actually is voice chat in this game, but I don't have mine set up, and neither does anybody else. So it's very difficult to leave me be. What's cracking, people? Angelic Mayhem here. So welcome to Panzar. This is a brand new free-to-play game that has just come out. Among other places on Steam, but you can also play it just, through their regular website, and I'm sure there are a couple others. And this is my gunner. This is my level 7 gunner, Mayhem the Gunner. Pleased to meet you. And basically, there are 8 different classes in this game. There are 2 little dwarf type guys. There are 2 big brute kind of guys. There are 2 different kinds of witches and 2 different kinds of warlocks. In this case, the gunner's job is to sit back at range and attack with either turrets or with shotguns. Okay, so that's basically the idea. And he puts down traps and things like that. That's the general idea of what this particular class is going to do. I'm going to show you a little bit of gameplay in a little bit, but I just want to take you through the interface to kind of give you an idea of what you should expect. And before I do that, let me just talk about what I've been reading in terms of reviews. A lot of people have been talking about this game, and they're saying that it's, pay to win, and that certain classes are totally overpowered, and, it's basically a noob farm where the noobs come in and they get wiped out real quick, and, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, okay? Now, I've been playing this game for probably about 8 hours, 7 hours, somewhere thereabouts. And I can tell you that without question, this game is certainly pay to win, okay? You can pay to become this super buff, amazing dude, okay, with all the trimmings, and you just keep shelling out the cash and you can become as big and badass as you want. All right, but the question is, well, what does that get you? Okay, pay to win means that you personally, when you go into a fight with another human being, will wipe the floor with them. All right, but that doesn't guarantee that you're going to win the game. All right, the match specifically. And basically what this game is there's 10 guys on one side, 9 guys on the other side, and then those people just run into the middle and they start, beating the hell out of each other. And then there's me sitting back with my little turret, just railing, just mowing people down, man. It's incredible. But let's say that you're surrounded by 5 guys, okay? You're still going to end up dead. And at the end of the day, what this game really comes down to is that you have to have a good team, okay? So if you and your friends who all know what they're doing and you're in a clan or whatever, go into a match, you're going to win that way, okay? And it doesn't really matter who is super buff and who is not super buff. I haven't paid a dime into this game, and I can tell you that I average 3rd place in most of the games because I simply know not to go wandering into the middle of a 19-man scrum, okay? So that's basically what this game's all about. Let me take you through the interface. Up here, you have the ability to actually pay some of these crystals to level up. You can buy crystals, and that's the part where, it's kind of pay to win. Buy premium means that you can actually upgrade your account to be a premium account, and that will allow you to get double experience and double gold. Buy, this button goes with the crystals, and then exchange. You can actually exchange some of these crystals for gold. I wouldn't recommend that you do that because the exchange rate will kill you. These are your stats over here. You can pull this up and then, just go through each of them. The only one that I will tell you is that mastery is sort of a catch-all statistic that is for all of your physical and magical needs, okay? So, it covers your range and your movement speed, and it's a little bit of everything, okay? This just tells you what class you are, just in case you forgot. And then down here, this is where things get exciting, okay? First of all, I'm going to start you off at the altar, all right? This is the upgrade system. Basically, I have skipped out on, because I'm the gunner, okay? So I've skipped out on the shotgun completely, and I want to focus only on the turret. And that's what this cannon thing is here. Now, each of the upgrades for the turret is pretty crappy, okay? Like, each, so I have 42 as my base power for the cannon here. The next level up is 44. So really, that's not a major upgrade, all right? These 2 over here, beacon allows you to set up your gun, then run in and then physically drag or, teleport the gun to you wherever you are. So that's a lot faster way than trying to build it on a battlefield where somebody might notice you and then come over and wipe you out. And then down here, these are traps. You can set 2 of these up around you, and then as you upgrade, you get like more and more traps. And then you set the traps up around your turret, so that if somebody comes over to wipe out your turret, they get hit by the trap, and then they die, theoretically. Kill reward, that's just a nice little bonus. And then, there's a bunch of other ones here. I'm not going to get into all of them, but that basically gives you an idea of what's going on. You get one of these for each level. I'm at 7, so I should have 7 of these. Or 8. I think I started off with 1. Over here, this is a fitting room. You can actually have different items, and then you can color these items using some of your purple gems. All right, so hold on to these crystals. You get 5 every time you level up. Hold on to these crystals until you know what they're for. All right, don't go spending them or changing them into gold or anything like that. Social is basically you meet your friends. This button down here will actually launch you into a website where you can connect with people via Facebook, and then when they click on the link, you get like 5% of whatever they buy. It also comes to you. So if they buy, let's say 100 of these crystals, you would get 5 as a thank you for bringing your friend in. And then it's kind of like a pyramid sort of situation where if they bring in friends, then you also get some of what those friends buy, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You can also set up a clan. These are the people who, first of all, you have to spend money to set up a clan, so there aren't many of those yet. But, you basically have a bunch of people who you play with all the time, and that will make for a much better situation than going in completely blind and random. Blind and random, you have no idea what you're going to get. So sometimes you get these great games where you have to pull it out at the last second or come from behind, and it's like, this really exciting thing when everybody just kind of gels. And then there are other times where you just are getting wiped out, and you are asking these people what they're doing, and they're just wandering around the board, they're jumping off the waterfalls and stuff like that, because they're morons. Tournament is actually scheduled tournaments that the Panzar people are doing where you can actually participate, and then if you win, you get all kinds of stuff. Now, here is where the system gets really interesting. You can actually take any item that you want off of your person, okay, or out of your inventory, move it over to here, and then you can actually upgrade it by adding runes and things like that. And you can actually take these runes, let's say you get 5 shards. This is a water rune shard. You can, if you get 5 water rune shards, you can convert that into a full-fledged water rune, and then it does like a major buff to you personally, physically. So you want to collect these as you go along, and then you can use the forge, which we'll get to next, to actually upgrade them. Then you can jam them into your pieces of equipment. Just a note, so tin pauldrons, right? I put that down here. If I were to take one of these and physically drop it here, it will instantly add it to it. And you can't just take it back out. You got to destroy the thing in order to get your rune back. So be careful about that. This little green button here may make you think that you have to hit that in order to upgrade. It's not. That's not how that works. You can also destroy, if you take this and put it over here, you can actually break it apart and then you get your things. Over here is the forge. You only get 1 slot unless you actually buy a VIP account, in which case you can get 2 slots. I wouldn't worry about getting that extra crafting slot or going VIP just for that. If you want to go VIP, I would do it for the experience. But, just this 1 slot will do you just fine. You go away for the night, you come back the next day, you got whatever it is, and then you put something else in the slot. And there is no way, by the way, I haven't found anything that allows you to trade items, so I can't take these tin pauldrons and throw them out on like a marketplace or anything like that. That doesn't exist. You can also craft your healing potions and things like that. And there's all kinds of stuff here. Like you can... I'm looking for an amulet. I think this one will do. Right, so here it says, you can see it says duration 7 days. All right, so you want to be careful. Some of these won't last forever. They just last for a couple days and then, you lose them. So, but they do give you a nice little buff. So, throwing that out there. And then this one over here is if you want to create some bigger, better recipe stuff. So for instance, when we go down here to resources, these are all the resources that I've collected so far. Now I haven't done much in the way of crafting. But you can take these and actually convert them into bigger, better stuff that you would then use in your recipes to create bigger, better armor or amulets or whatever it is that you're crafting. All right. And then over here is the shop, which you can just buy all kinds of stuff. I will tell you that in terms of leveling up, it depends on how far across this bar is. So if the bar was right here and I clicked on level up, it would probably say, oh, you only need 8 crystals or 5 crystals. But where the bar is now, I probably need 60 or 70 crystals. So, that gives you an idea of, how that works. I'm going to get us into a game now. So, let's play. And this just brings up your, while you're waiting to get into a game, it brings up your social menu in case your friends are there or whatever. Then you can link up with other people. Just as a side note, I would like to point out that once again, this is another one of these games that has, the dudes are in total armor, and then the chick, she's in thigh-high stockings. Okay, what the hell with this? All right, we gotta get past this. All right, it usually takes like 3 or 4 minutes to get into a game, so I'll be right back. All right, people, we're back into a game, and this area is called the Orc Shrine. Basically, it's just a giant field, and on one side is the enemy, and on the other side is us. Before the battle begins, you always have an opportunity to actually take a look at the field, assuming, of course, that you don't come in the middle of the game. So we have about a minute to wander about. You can see the timer at the top of the screen. So over here, there's some waterfalls and stuff like that. This is where the enemy spawns. And basically, it's just a clear, wide open area. Now, no damage can be taken during this time, so you just can wander around as much as you want. You can also go diving off the waterfall, like such. I would say that early on, it's going to take a while to get into the game because there aren't too many people playing this. Now, at the same time, during the weekends, life gets a lot better, but, during the week, which just happens to be when I'm filming this. All right, so I'm going to drop down my turret, and then you have to actually build your turret. And I'm actually going to be behind this other guy, which is a good thing because if somebody goes for him... bad man, run away. Oh, you know where else is a good spot? I'm going to come over here. There actually is voice chat in this game, but I don't have mine set up, and neither does anybody else. So it's very difficult to... Leave me be! These things. Bear traps everywhere. The turret is a very effective tool, so you're going to get a lot of harass, alright? That's just how it is. But if you can get one up, and then you can hop into it, and some guy can stand in front of you, boom. Alright, so now we run away again. And we're in. Alright, so now we just got a kill, right? There was a guy, he just happened to have nothing left, so I ended him. This guy just happens to be right in front of us. Now you can see on the left-hand side, there's like a heat, a heat meter. As you're firing, you actually will begin to, obviously accumulate heat, and so you'll have to stop firing for a little bit in order to let your gun cool down. I think that's a pretty good mechanic because otherwise, I mean, this thing's pretty OP if you were just able to, go to town on people. Oh no, you got me. Blocking is a key part of this game. You can actually block the turret bullets if you are holding block long enough. The problem is that somebody can just as easily, hop in behind you, and then while you're blocking the guy in front of you, they wipe you out from behind. So it's not a foolproof plan, but it is possible. Alright, so I'm going to put this down, and then I'm going to put one of these here, and another bear trap there. Hop into my turret, and just start launching bullets. Ugh. Good. We're going to wipe this guy out. Boom. There's invisible guys. Basically their job is to hop in behind you. Now let's talk about the different classes, okay? We've got, the melee guys. They're the ones with the clubs, and they kind of look like cavemen. We have the invisible guys. They're the wizards slash mages slash whatever you want to call them. Ugh. Go away. Ugh. And then you have the witches, who are basically exactly the same, except they are very good at range versus the wizards, who are more, up close and personal. The witch can actually nuke this turret that I'm sitting in right now from across the board with a well-placed fireball. So, and because it's wood, it just goes up in flames. But there's a lot of people out there who are complaining, oh, certain classes are overpowered and, they can do this or that. No, that's not true, okay? I'm standing in the back and I have nothing to fear. I can, attack people or whatever. And if one of these guys comes over and breaks me up, yes, he can kill me in one shot. But that's a good thing because I've been peppering him with bullets for 20 minutes. So it's not about OP versus not OP. Am I winning? No, we are losing big. Sadly, I haven't had the ability to really make a dent. But then again, our guys have not been in the middle at all. They've been out on the periphery, and that's probably why we're losing. Basically, there's a central area there. There's like a totem or whatever, and you have to kind of stand around the totem. And the longer that you're standing there, the more points that you will gain as you're going along. Now, all of the enemies you'll notice have a flag on their back. Similarly, you have a flag on your back, which only the enemy can see. Okay, so always keep that in mind if you're trying to hide in trees or something like that. That's only effective if you have your back literally against the tree, so that your flag is also hidden. Because otherwise, they'll just see your flag sticking out of the grass or whatever, and they'll come over and nuke you. And at the moment, I'm just peppering them as much as possible because this game is pretty much over. Sadly, oh man, we're getting totally wiped out and our guys have no idea what to do, so we're going to call this one a loss, and that'll be the end. Look at this. Look. I'm going to bring him over just so that he can wipe her out. There you go. That's how bad we did. Here's the final tally. Okay, we have 5 kills, 1 death. All right. And I was able to do a significant amount of damage and take very little damage. That's because when they come up and they're attacking your turret, they're attacking the turret and not you. So I'm actually taking very little damage. Now this slider right here, after you win the game, you have to decide if you want to get a lot of gold, if you want to get a lot of experience, or somewhere in between. Okay. So now it depends on, if you're trying to craft something, you might want gold, so you may want to shift over here. I would suggest to you that especially early on in the game, I want you to shift over here to pick up as much experience as possible so you can level up as quickly as possible. Now, down here at the bottom, these are the loot things. This is completely at random, and if you win, you get more than if you lose. These are basically used for crafting, and then this happens to be an Earth Rune shard. So, again, as I told you at the beginning, you can actually combine multiple Earth Rune shards to make an Earth Rune, and then you can buff yourself really nicely. All right, we're going to try for another game, and I'll be right back. All right, again, we have 1 minute to take a look at the place. We're in the Cannibal Stronghold. And basically, there's just this wooden platform here. And there are these areas off to the left and right of the platform where you can set up your gun and just keep mowing people down as they come up on the platform. Obviously, that's going to be a problem if, like people come from here and then they get behind you. And you've got this TNT here, so if somebody snatches up a TNT and drops it and then it explodes, it can just wipe you out. So you got to keep an eye on your periphery and make sure nobody's going to kill you. Also, so for instance, I just walk through this gate here. If I bring over some boards, I can actually board this up, which would be a huge inconvenience for, well, in this case, my team, but I can board up theirs as well. Theirs is over there. And if I board it up, then, that's a great way to keep them out. They then have to walk around the long way, which is really sweet. All right, so here we go. We're in a game. You have a limited amount of stamina, so in my case it's the space bar. I hold down the space bar in order to run, and we're going to try to set up right about here. Boom, perfect. Alright, so we build our gun. We got all kinds of people on the stage. They're not going to be there in a minute. I'm also going to drop some of these bear traps. Perfect. And now we start mowing. I like being at a distance. I like being able to, survey the field and then, do things strategically versus the melee guys who are all about, kind of running and just hopping into the middle of a firefight. They don't care. Here, let me go over here. Who's hitting me? Where's that coming from? Really? Really? Eat it, woman. All right, now this guy, he just picked up a bunch of timber and he's going to go over and barricade their thing. I'm going to keep going to town on her because I hate her now. She and I have history. It's only 3 or 4 seconds long, but still I hate her. Alright, now again, your cannon overheats, so you gotta... Uh-oh. Time to run. I haven't gained enough class points. Basically, every time you shoot someone, you gain some class points. And if you kill someone, you get a huge buff to your class points. So with those class points, you can actually create a really tough turret by adding armor, but you actually have to spend those class points in order to do it. So if you set up a really good turret and then somebody actually wipes it out, you then have to start all over from scratch, killing people again in order to get more armor for your next turret. So that gives you an idea of the kind of resource management that you have to participate in this game in as well. Now again, you're risking it with the TNT. If somebody comes up and drops a TNT on the ground and it catches fire, then you're in some serious trouble, and there's no way to defend against that. It is actually possible for you to kind of hide when you're the little dwarf. The other people not so much because they're too tall. So your your little banner that's on you will stick out the top of wherever you happen to be hiding. Another thing is you'll notice that as I'm setting this thing up, it actually will kind of push you backwards. If you set it up too close to, let's say, like a cliff or a wall, then when it pushes you backwards, you can actually become either trapped or you can get tossed off the cliff. So, and I'm going to eat it on this one. Alright, running. Oh, he's already dead. Alright, so now I'm in trouble. Ah! No! Oh, I stepped on a trap, I think. Now, the thing of it is that you can't actually, like, let's say you're playing as a gunner, right? But somebody's, you know, going to town on the gunners. You can't just come back and say, alright, well, now I'll be a wizard. You're locked in as a gunner. So one of the things is, when you start to meet people, you want to become friends with as many different types of characters as possible. You don't want to have just like a team of gunners, because if all you guys are gunners, then they'll just keep going to town, and you know you'll have no way to defend yourselves. Set up right on the platform. Point blank death. In, get in. Ugh, that's so sickening. I don't know what happened there. There's a lot of that in the game though. This game is really still beta quality. All right, there's a lot of instances where just if you do weird stuff, the game might not be ready for that. Look at this. This guy got his up perfectly fine. We're killing him, man. 322 to 0. Once you get to 500, that's the game. And there's all kinds of different game modes. There is no way to guarantee that you are going to be playing a certain game mode. So, you know, it just comes down to, what is that? Alright, now she's freezing everyone, so it was actually very bad of me to run in here. And now that I'm frozen, I'm quite brittle, so they can just destroy me. Wham, wham, wham. This thing has to go. And we set up shop. We'll drop a couple bear traps. Here's an example of beta quality stuff, okay? You see how it keeps saying E in order to access certain things? That is not the key that I re-keybound, okay? I re-keybound everything. Seriously, dude. This is actually a good spot because you have a really clear view of anybody coming up that big hill, and that's the big hill. That's where everybody comes in from, so. You have, like, no combat ability in hand-to-hand, but if somebody has taken some significant damage, for instance, from your bear trap, then you may have a chance to, like, kind of get the upper hand there, but it's very rare. And as you'll notice, that guy, so I spawned on the thing that was behind me, right? Well, so did the other guy on the other team. So that's another instance where that's kind of crappy. All right, let's try right here. Now, I know that there's a barricade on this, so I'm not going to be able to get, like, any good shots into the crowd, but I can try to take people out as they come up over here. And if they sneak off the sides, then I may be able to do a little bit of damage here and there. I can also defend some of my guys who are in a bad spot. It's good that they're actually getting me, believe it or not, because, I mean, 463 to 116, that means they've been distracted. They've been busy with me out on the periphery instead of focusing on what truly matters, which is the giant platform in the middle. Ooh, I can put one right here, I think. There's also a bridge on the right there. I wonder where that goes. I only have 4 points to find out, so I'm going. Ooh. What? Ah. Sweet. Alright, well that's going to be it for this playthrough. I hope you enjoyed Panzar. Again, it's free to play, so it's worth at least checking out. If you enjoyed this video, please click the like button or subscribe to my YouTube channel for more content like this in the future. I'm Angelic Mayhem, and I'll see you next time.